In this video, I'm going to show you how to build Ilmango's new 250,000 XP per hour Zombified Piglin farm. These are all the materials you'll need to build this farm. You can pause the video accordingly. Also, you only need one lever, not two of them. And any command blocks that you see are just for my personal use for teleporting back and forth between this farm and the tutorial farm. And you will obviously not need them. Also, if you like what you see here, then consider hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. I think we're on track for that, but I need your help, so that'd be very much appreciated. When starting this farm, your very first block will be on y equals 209 when you're standing on it. That first block is a sticky piston. Make sure that you're in a large nether waste biome, like fly around for little ways in each direction to make sure that you are in a pretty big biome, because otherwise, if you are not in another waste biome, then the farm will not work properly. You're going to pick one side of your piston to place an observer on facing outward, just in a direction, whichever one you choose, but that'll determine where you build other components of the farm later on. Then you're going to take a slime block and place it on top of the sticky piston and go out in each direction from the slime block, 16 blocks of packed ice. So you're going to come 2 blocks out from here, place 2 pieces of glass underneath that, then place 2 hoppers underneath that glass. And now you're going to just temporarily remove that, place in a minecart with a hopper here. And you're going to push this minecart with hopper so that it's, let's see, about halfway in between these 2 hoppers, or like that. And now you're going to take a normal piston. You're actually going to need 2 of them. You're going to take the normal piston 1 block out facing in, and you're going to place 2 pieces of glass here. And we're going to want to get 2 solid blocks over here. We'll just use this for now. Place 2 solid blocks like that, and now we're going to shove these glass blocks here into that area now, so that the minecart's sitting inside of it. And then what we're going to do is place another rail up here, place another minecart with hopper up there, then break the blocks underneath of it. Then we're going to go up for a couple blocks and get another piston facing downward, and we're going to shove packed ice into this minecart with hoppers. So now if you put in a ton of items here, it would get distributed into both of those hoppers underneath like that. And this is where the items go. You can sort of make your own emptying system for the items. You can either collect them or delete them, but the farm by itself does not collect the items. Now you're going to have to repeat this same process on the other 3 lines of packed ice. Once you've completed that, you can place 3 pieces of glazed terracotta at the end of all these lines in a formation like this, or it could be some other immovable object, but it just has to be immovable. Now on the side that you have your observer facing out, you're going to go down and place 3 concrete like that, and you're going to place an activated rail on all of those blocks. And then you're going to place concrete there on top of that block and an observer facing straight upward. Now you're going to take a line of concrete blocks off of that observer until you get all the way over here, and you're going to place a repeater on top of every single one of them. It's set to 2 ticks like this, and it's also going to go over this observer here. Now you're going to place an observer right here observing this repeater, and you're going to place an observer out here observing that observer. Now you're going to take 2 observers, they're going to face inward onto that observer. Then you're going to take an observer facing downward, place 3 observers into it like that. Then you're going to go have an observer facing downward again, 3 observers into it, just going the opposite way. And we're going to do that again up here, and a final time up there, and we're going to run this across like that. And you can also take a glass block and place it on top of that observer. Now you can place an observer facing downward right there, and an observer facing into that observer like that, and then 3 stacked on top of each other, and then 3 things of glass up here, and 2 observers facing in that direction into this observer. Now you can place a glass block here and a glass block down there. Now you can place a dropper right here facing straight up like that. And now right here we're going to have an observer facing straight upward and a repeater set to 3 ticks on top of it. Then you're going to have an observer right here facing into that observer. Then you're going to get a sticky piston here facing up and a sticky piston here facing out. Now you're going to take another observer and place it facing outward over there, and you're going to get some more movable blocks, in this case glazed terracotta, and place 2 of them right there. Then you're going to go out here and up another like that, and then you're going to place some glass on those remaining blocks. Over here there's another observer facing inward, then you're going to take more of your glazed terracotta, place some there, and right here you're going to have a sticky piston facing upward, and then you're going to get a slime block and place that slime block right here. Then out here we're going to have more glazed terracotta. Finally, one more piece of terracotta is going to go over there. You're going to place more glass here and a glass diagonally up there like that, and then you're going to get a piece of concrete and place a button on it right there, and then you can place some glass in there. Now we're going to go down from here with our glass until there's just a 1 block gap between these blocks, and we're going to do the same here, and we're going to do the same over here like this. And finally on this 4th side underneath that sticky piston. Actually, this block right here at the back of that observer needs to be a solid block, in this case concrete. And you'll see if we break that mechanism works, and that's how the XP gets pushed upward. That's one of the mechanisms for that. Now if we go down here, we can make borders on these ice tunnels, or they're going to be tunnels soon. We can start making borders on these ice pathways, and you can just fill it with glass until you get to these 2 end blocks here. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take 11 observers, and you're going to place 11 more of them on top of this dropper here. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like that. And then we're going to repeat the same thing down here that we did. We're going to have ourselves a dropper up here like that, and then we're going to have, see an observer right here facing upward. Get our redstone repeater, set it to 3 ticks, and you're going to repeat the same process that we did here where we built all of this stuff. It's just another XP elevator module. Now that you have this, you can go ahead and fill in these gaps here with glass and connect these up to make basically the elevator for the experience. Now we're going to add one more of these 11 blocks up again. There's going to be one final elevator section before we get to the very top. So we're going to start with 11 more of these. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we're going to have one more dropper facing up, and you're going to build the same kind of deal that we had down there. Again, you're going to build it up here. And once again, we can connect these modules together and form our completed elevator. Well, it's almost done. There's actually just the finishing stuff at the top. Now right here, you're going to place an observer facing into that dropper, and you're going to get 2 pieces of glass and place it on top of those blocks. And get a sticky piston right here with an observer facing outward, and then you're going to get some concrete down here and concrete right there. And then you're going to get some comparators. You're going to place 2 comparators, one right here and one right here. Now you're going to place 2 more concrete out on this area, and you're going to get some redstone torches and place those torches there. And you're going to get 2 droppers and have them face into each other, and you're going to put 4 just miscellaneous items in this one right here. Now you're going to get 2 hoppers and have 2 hoppers right here facing into each other. You're going to put 1 miscellaneous item in it, and then you're going to get a comparator here and a comparator here like that. Now you're going to place 2 solid blocks up there, and then these hoppers, or at least one of them, should be locked, and you should just have this torch on like this. You're going to place a sticky piston above it like that, and you're going to get some glass blocks and place it on top of these droppers and 1 out extra. Then you're going to take an observer, place it facing outward like that, and get a solid block here and a solid block here. Next, you're going to take a repeater, place it on there and set it to 4 ticks. And then you're going to get an observer right here facing inward, and you're going to get a dispenser, and you're going to finally place a dispenser there, and you're going to put a bucket of lava inside that dispenser, and this is the periodic XP removal system, so that it doesn't like completely lag out everything, because you can't actually pick up the amount of XP fast enough. So it does have an automatic XP disposal system. You can now bring these other blocks up an extra 3 like that, so that they are on the same level as this dispenser. So now right here you can come out 2 blocks, you can come out 2 blocks over here, and we can just go ahead and make a 5x5 platform like this, but we're going to leave this block open here, and over here you're going to place a redstone lamp and a sticky piston facing straight downward, and you're going to take a lever, place that lever on top of that lamp, and right here you're going to place an iron trapdoor just like that. And this is our place where we stand to collect all the XP when we're running the farm. So right here you're going to place 2 slime blocks, and then we're going to go diagonally out like this, place a sticky piston facing downward, and then we're going to place 10 blocks of slime on it like that, and then a block of redstone at the bottom. Now if we place a piston there and we have a 2 block gap, we can get a powered rail, place the powered rail up there, and we can go down for 11 slime blocks, and then place a block of redstone at the very bottom like that, and then we can go up here, place a block of redstone there. Now we have a way to transmit our signal straight downward relatively easily like that. So now if we go down from here, if we go down a block like this and out, we can place a piece of glass there. We can get a comparator and set it to subtract mode and place it right there. Now we can get 3 more glass blocks, and we can place a repeater here and a repeater here, both set to 4 ticks, and we can get a piece of redstone and place the redstone right there. Now we can go up here like that, place a solid block, place a button on it for spawn proofing, and then here we can have an observer facing straight upward, and we can place a piece of redstone on top of it. Now right here we can go 2 blocks down from that observer, and we can have a block on each side and a powered rail on each side. Now if we go over to one of the ends of these things, you can place a slime block there and then get some glazed terracotta, place it on top of that, or an immovable block, and then we can get 5 blocks of packed ice up here before we make another one of these formations out of glazed terracotta or an immovable object. Now we're going to go back a block, place a slime block, and then place glazed terracotta above it. And then we're going to get a sticky piston, place the sticky piston right there behind it, and then we're going to go down with a solid block and get a repeater, set it to 2 ticks, and then we're going to go up a block and place redstone on that block. Now we're going to go up from here and out 2 blocks in each direction, just like that. Then we can go 2 blocks here, 2 blocks here, and we can place a solid block here, solid block here. Then we can place a solid block up here, solid block here, and run redstone across all of this like that. Then you can take 2 sticky pistons and place them on top of each other like that, and place an iron trapdoor here and an iron trapdoor up here. Now you can take a normal piston right there and a normal piston right there. And we can take some glass blocks right, let's see, here, and glass blocks over there. And you can place a glass block up there. We can place a solid block behind this with an observer facing, let's see, an observer facing straight up. Now if we update this, we should see that all of this is firing correctly. Now you can take a button down here and 2 blocks of glass here and on that side as well. Now we can place in a few blocks, let's see, 4 blocks of glass right there. We can place in blocks up here, place a block there. And then we're going to go up like this, and we're going to go up for a total of 4 more blocks like this. So it's going to be 5 from here. And we can go up an equal amount on this side, an equal amount on this side. And we can also do that in the back here like that. So now inside here, you're going to place a button there and 3 trapdoors on top of each other like that. And then we're also going to go over here and we're going to get 4 pieces of wall like that, and they're going to just be above the pistons. So what we just did over here, you need to repeat on all the other 3 of these segments. You're just going to repeat the exact same thing that we did here. Don't do anything except for that. Okay, now that we have this all done, you're going to want to go to the side where we have our observer tower and the side where we have our slime block tower. And what you're going to do, you're going to place glass blocks here and then more packed ice, and you're going to go for 15 blocks in each direction. So that's 5, 10, 15. And we're going to do the same thing over here. This on this side as well, but not on these 2 sides, only on the sides with this and the sides with this. So let's see, we're gonna get our glass here and we're gonna go for 15 more blocks in this direction, 15 blocks in this direction as well. So back here on this one with the repeaters behind these slime blocks and stuff, you're gonna place a note block there, and you're gonna place a sticky piston right there, and then you're gonna place 3 bits of concrete like that in the shape like that. Here you're gonna have a repeater set to 2 ticks, and if we go out here on this block diagonally, you're gonna have a sticky piston, and then you're also going to have an observer right here facing outward, and only on this one area out of the 3 are you going to place an extra block back here. That is for this thing, which is only on this line here, so only worry about this block here on this module. Right here you're going to place 2 glass blocks, and then you're going to place a solid block here with redstone on top of it, and then you're going to place an observer right here facing straight up, and you're going to place powered rail on top of that. So we're going to go over to this one on this side and build this in the same orientation. However, the other two, it's in a slightly different orientation. So we're going to start with this the same exact way. We're going to have our 3 blocks here. We're going to get our redstone repeater there set to 2 ticks. Going to get a sticky piston right back here facing in that direction, and an observer right here facing outward, and then our couple blocks here, and then our solid block and our redstone. And then we're gonna get our observer facing straight upward with our powered rail on it like that. So that is built in the same orientation as over here. However, on these other 2 sides, we're going to still place our stuff like this normally, but we're going to build the rest of it on the opposite side. It's going to be built on technically the left side instead of the right side. So you use the same blocks and everything, but you just build it on a different side. So you can see right here, we're going to have a sticky piston like that, and we're going to have our observer right there. We're going to get our white concrete and our glass, and then our redstone up here. And then we're going to get an observer facing straight up with a powered rail on top of it. We're going to do the same thing one more time on this side. I think you know how to do that now, since you just saw how to do that one over there. So just go ahead and repeat that one more time. Once you've got that all done, you can go ahead and fill in the rest of this glass here. So on this side, we're going to start by making a roof of glass here, and it's going to stop right there. We're going to have glass here, and it's going to go up and connect to this. And this is going to connect up so that there is technically still a tunnel here for the XP to move through and the items. We're going to do the same thing that we just did there on this side. We go here, we can just build our roof again. We can get over here and connect these things of glass up like this, and we can have our finished pipe there. And now on this side, we can place in our extra 3 immovable blocks, our terracotta. We can do this over here as well, and then we can make a wall of glass back here, and this will connect with that, and we can bring this out in this direction until we get to this side. Then we can just do the a similar thing over here until we get right here. We can connect this up like this, and then we're going to put the roof on it. So right here we can have our glass roof, and it's going to technically go all the way to the very end here. I'm going to leave it stopped right there. And actually, the way this goes is we don't have that block up there. This is just a flat area here, and it just goes down here. We don't actually need these blocks like that. There we go. Now it is using the least amount of glass possible, so it should look like that when you've got it right. We'll just bring this over here, and we'll build another one of those things over here. So we can bring this out like this all the way to the end here, and we can have our glazed terracotta. This can go all the way back to the other side, and then this can go over here. We can have our roof here, and that's how that lines up. So you see how to do that now, and you can just go ahead and build what we did over there on this side. And then you're gonna have to build 4 more of these segments, one off of each of these areas here, and then most of the redstone and difficult parts of this farm are done. Now that you have all 8 of these little areas in, we can now go and start adding some other stuff. So here you're going to add 2 more blocks onto this side here, and you're going to put powered rails on them, and then we're going to go up with an observer facing in this direction, and we're going to have a block back here. We can just make this all solid. You can place a button up there for spawn protection. Then we can add 3 more blocks onto here. We can add 9 more blocks onto here and place powered rails on top of all of them. And then up here we can have another observer facing that way, another solid block, and then we can have a few more blocks. I think we're going to be having, let's see, this just all needs to be connected. So you can connect this up to here, but then right here we can place in observer facing that way. We can have a block here with the button, and then we can have our rail like that, and that will change the orientation of that. So we're going to want to update that again so it goes back to normal. Actually, that's just going to do that again. So you may have to just when you're all done with this before you start it, you might want to set the orientation back to that, because there's going to be a lot of times where it gets updated throughout building it, so just be aware of that. And however, right here, this is you're gonna place a solid block under here, and there's actually gonna be an observer facing straight upward right there, and that will actually be what activates that thing down there. As you can see, that is triggering that when it moves. And so now we're gonna do something similar on this side. So here we're gonna add an additional 8 more blocks onto this and cover it all in powered rails like that, and have 2 more blocks here. We're gonna have our observer, our solid block with our button on top, and then we're gonna go for 9 blocks in this direction. Then 2 more at the back. We can add an observer with another block and our button up there, and then we can add our powered rails in here. And right here we're gonna have our upward facing observer with a block underneath of it, and then we can just go ahead and connect these up with blocks again like we did on that side. Here we can have our observer facing that way with our solid block back there, and we can just cover this with powered rails like that. You also would like to leave it at this configuration where the sticky piston's not on that observer down there, so that's another thing to be aware of, like that. So if we update that again, there we go, and like that, we can update that again. And so now we have to add a few more lines of these going in other directions, connecting the rest of all this stuff up. So if we go right over here, we're going to add 3 blocks onto this with powered rails on top of it. Then we're going to go up like this. We're going to have our observer here, and we're going to have our button back here, and then we can just add blocks onto the very end of this, and we can just cover this all with powered rails. So now that area is connected up, and over here we can go out, let's see, for 9 blocks with powered rails before we have our observer and our singular block with the button on top of it. Then you can just connect this all the way over to here and fill this in with powered rails. And we'll reset that like that, and we're going to do the same thing over here where we have 3 blocks in this direction with our powered rails. So just repeat that same process on this side. Actually, one thing is up here, this repeater needs to face in that direction and to be at 4 ticks like that, because I accidentally turned on the farm and I realized that it wasn't working, and so I realized that that repeater had been reversed. So this repeater needs to go that way, this one needs to go that way. But as you can see here, everything is currently firing as intended, so I can actually just flick this off up here, and we can finish connecting all of the various places together. So right here we're going to add 2 more blocks of just concrete before we have our thing with the observer and everything. Now we're just going to go back here for 9 blocks like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yep. And we can have our blocks right here with our observer and our concrete. And we can go back in this direction. We can connect all of this up, and you can have your observer here and your block with this button, and then more rails. We'll just fix the orientation of that again. And now on this side, we're going to have 9 blocks before we have one of those things. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. With our powered rails, we'll get these here. And we're going to have our observer again with our button. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Have more powered rails here. And then we can have our observer thing again. And then we can connect all of this up just like so. And that should fully reset it, and I think everything here is connected up, and I'm pretty sure that is all the redstone. We may have missed something. If we have, I'll find out later in the recording, and we will fix it obviously then. But now, pretty much what's left to do is build the spawning areas for the zombified piglins, which is probably the most time-consuming part of this. It's very simple, but it's very time-consuming. Funnily enough, I did actually forget to show something. I forgot to show where you put the upward facing observer underneath that rail with the block underneath of it, so it actually transmits a signal downward to those like little piston pusher things. I forgot to show that on these 2 sides, so I apologize for that, but luckily I can fix this in the editing. So here we are. So what you're going to need to do now is go up 20 additional blocks from all 8 of these areas where the zombified piglins drop down. So basically, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And when you're standing on it, should be at Y level 241. and it is, you're going to bring this side up as well. You're going to bring one block of glass up, and you're going to bring the trap doors up like this. And this all needs to go 20 blocks, and you're going to build this on all 8 of these areas. So you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll be back in a moment. Actually, the glass only goes up 19 blocks. The 20th block of glass is actually magma blocks. Like the 20th block on this tower is going to be a magma block. So you can go ahead and do that instead of glass, because this is a level that our first magma block giant ring for spawning is. Now that you have all this, you're going to want to pick one of these sides to start with. It's technically one of the cardinal directions, not unlike, I guess, in between, like sort of that are going to be diagonals. And you're going to start with some magma blocks, and you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out in a line from one side. Then you're going to go in one block for 3 blocks, and then 2 blocks, and then another 2 blocks like this. And we're going to do the same thing over here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to go in for 3 blocks, and then 2 times in for 2. Now we're going to go in 1 block on each side like this. Then we're going to go in 2. We're going to go in 2, and then we're going to have a block here and a block out here, so that we get a pattern like that. Quadrant of this, you're going to replicate this around to the other 3 sides, so that we have a full-on ring here. So we're just going to, I'll show you how to do one more. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 3, and then 2, 2, 1, then 2, then block here, and then 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you see that lines up like that. You're gonna do the other half of this now, and what I'm gonna do is there's like 3 or 4 rings or something. I'm gonna show you how to build one of the rings completely, and then the others are all just the same thing layered on top of each other. So you're gonna build the rest on your own, but I will show you how to build one completed ring first. So now that we have this inside ring, we have to make a ring on the outside before we fill in the entire platform. There's actually 5 rings total, I just checked. So you're going to want to come out from one of these sides here, one of the cardinal direction sides, and you're going to want to add 9 additional blocks onto it. So let's see, that should be 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It should be 10 in total. And then on, like out here, you're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides, 8 more blocks onto that side. Then you're going to add 3 blocks, and then we're gonna have 2, 2, and then 2, and we're gonna do this on this side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're gonna have 3 and 2, 2, and 2 more blocks. Now we're gonna add another 2 blocks onto this, and then 1 block, 1 block. We're gonna go over here, another 2 blocks, 1 block, 1 block. Then we're gonna have 2 blocks here, 2 blocks here, and 1 block right there, and that should connect it up, and it does. So this is what you're gonna do for one of the quadrants. So we're gonna do the same thing that we did with this, where we did it basically like I showed you how to do 1. Actually, I showed you how to do 2. So we'll do 1 more, and then you're gonna do the other half on your own. So if we come to the opposite side, we're gonna add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks onto that, and then we're gonna add 8 over here. Should be 8, and then we can add 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then it was 1, 1, 2, 1, and then it starts going in this direction. 1, 1, and then 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see, is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, so that is all correct. You're going to do that for the other half of this thing, and then we're going to fill in the entire thing with magma blocks. Well, we have this double ring here now. What you're going to want to do before we fill this in is add 2 blocks of glass onto this right here facing outward. We can go over to this side and add 2 blocks like that. And just so you know, on the diagonals, they're going to face in whatever direction the like ice pathway goes in. So like over here, this is going to face outward as well. So there's technically only 2 of them that face inward in this orientation. So you're going to do this obviously on all 8 like this. We're going to go over here and do the same thing, add 2 blocks of glass, 2 blocks of glass here. Now you can proceed to fill in this entire thing with magma blocks. So It might take a while, but that's what we gotta do. You're gonna have to do this 4 more times after this one layer. There are 5 layers total. Well, as you can see, there's already a ridiculous amount of zombified piglins spawning here, which is a good sign. I also noticed that down in these little areas here, I forgot to put a button right here because that stops mobs from spawning, like this guy. I saw this guy and I was trying to figure out how we spawn there, and then I realized that we had not spawn proofed that, so I apologize for missing that. However, it is extremely easy to miss with those 2 textures combined. Anyways, just make sure you have buttons on these little areas, because otherwise they will spawn. Like, we do have buttons here, so that's why that's there to stop like zombified piglins from spawning. You'll also want a button up here to stop stuff spawning there. But now on to this thing. Now you're gonna have to bring these little chutes up an additional 2 blocks here, and all of this is gonna be brought up. We're gonna have these trapdoors come up, and we're also going to be placing 3 buttons on the blocks back there. And you're going to want to add 5 of these walls onto each side of the little chute here. We're going to bring these like diagonal ones up as well. However, we're not going to have the same kind of walls. We're going to have walls on the sides, but they're a little bit different. And here we're going to have 2 buttons right there to stop stuff from spawning too close. Also, the gas, that's just because we don't have like the other layers that are going to go in, and there are so many zombified piglins. Like, there won't be gas spawning when it's all done. This side needs to go up now. We need to have our buttons here. We need to get our trapdoors. I think you get the idea. You're gonna do this on all of them. Like, over here, you would have the buttons on these blocks. Whichever blocks are like directly behind these chutes is where you're gonna have the buttons. Now that you have that, when you're positioned looking at the side that has 3 of the things sticking in this direction as opposed to just 1 in this direction, 2 in this side, like when you're looking at here, when you can see this going that way, this going that way, this going that way, on these sides you're going to want to add 2 of these, and then 2 more, and then 1 like that. We're going to do that on this side as well, 2, then 2 over here, and then 1. And we're going to go over here, and just on this side we're going to repeat the same thing here, and we're going to do this on both sides because there's slightly different wall designs on the varying sides. So that's 1. Now we're going to go get the other one. So on the remaining sides, you're going to go out 2 blocks here, 2 blocks here, and then just 1 like that. So 2, 2, and 1. And so like over here it'd be 2, 2, and then 1. And the same on these other 2 sides over here. So 2, 2, 1, and over here 2, 2, and 1 like that. So now you're going to just want to pick any of the cardinal direction sides. It doesn't really matter which one. And you're going to want to go 1, 2, 3 blocks out. Then you're going to have 2 blocks of wall here. You're going to go diagonally 2 blocks, 2 more blocks, and then 2 more. So you're going to have 4 of these little 2 block long segments. We're going to come over to the opposite side and go 1, 2, 3. You're going to have the same thing that we just did over here, like that. And we're going to go over here and repeat the same process. So 1, 2, 3. It's going to go out in this direction like this for 4 of the little wall segments. We're going to do the same over here. Basically, it slants away from just the center area. So I'll show you one more, and then you can do the other 4 on your own. So get out of the way, piglin. And we're going to just have that same thing over here. So now you're going to do that for this one and this one. It looks like I actually forgot to put in the 5 additional walls on either side. Oops. So now this is 1 entire ring fully completed. You have to make 4 more of them, and they're stacked on top of each other. So basically, right up here, 2 blocks above this ring is the start of the next ring. You're going to copy everything that we just did for ring number 1 up to here. You're just going to bring this stuff up, like you're going to have the trapdoors continue up like this, and it would be like this tall. And then you would have your glass thing right here, your buttons up here, all that stuff. Like, just repeat everything that we just did, and you're gonna have to do that a total of 4 more times. So like this here, 2nd ring, 3rd ring, 4th ring, and 5th ring. And you'll notice that if we add a 6th thing we can't go any higher. This is the final block height. Like, this is the final block that we can build on. This is where the gas proofing area is going to be right up here. That'll be later after you've built all other 4 rings. So you're going to want to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to do that, and we'll be back in a moment. Alright, so we have all these layers in, but there's technically 2 things left we have to do. One is small but kind of difficult, and we're going to do that first. So here on the 4th layer, you're going to want to come to the very first 2 block long area here, and you're going to want to go out 2 blocks with slabs, bottom slabs. And there's going to be 2 blocks in between, and you're going to come over to the third, like 2 block long little segment here. We're going to go out 2 blocks as well. And with another bottom slab, you have to get a Zombified Piglin name tagged on each one of these little areas here. These guys are basically the Zombified Piglins that keep all of the other ones angry, because you use this farm by shooting them, by angering them, but eventually all of the angered ones will have fallen and died. But these guys, as long as you don't hit them with the arrow by accident, these guys always stay here, and they always perpetuate the Piglin anger system so that they will continue pathfinding toward you, and the farm keeps running. So these are actually the most important part of the farm, but it requires a total of 8 of these guys, because we have one over here, but we have to go over to this side as well and have more bottom slabs here with more Zombified Piglins that are name tagged on them so that they always stay there. And you have to do basically, actually no, you have 16 of these guys that have to be positioned on these blocks here. So like on this side as well, we've got to have our blocks with our Zombified Piglins that are name tagged. So you have to get a total of 16 guys on the slabs, and you don't really have to put anything else around the slabs because they won't pathfind off. They don't pathfind like to a drop, so they don't have to worry about them like leaving, but you do have to get them here. So you're gonna want to go ahead and do that. It might take a little while, but it's the most important part of this farm. Okay, we have all of our alarm piglins in. Now we just have to build the final roof on this thing, which is also time consuming because it's a even bigger version of this ring. Luckily we only build it 1 time, so let's go ahead and get a start on that. Luckily the first thing that you start with is relatively easy. You need to take a layer of glass 2 blocks up from this thing, and that is also the height limit, and you have to basically cover the entire top layer. Like wherever there's magma blocks, you're gonna cover it. You don't want to do anything where there isn't magma blocks, but just basically make it the same exact shape as what we did down here, only out of glass. So you're gonna want to do this obviously around the entire ring here. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. You're gonna have to do that. It'll take a lot of glass, but this is part of the spawn proofing for ghasts and stuff like that, and giant magma cubes. Now that we have our final layer of glass, we need to expand out in 2 directions on the other side of it with slabs. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks out. Then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks in this direction with slabs. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna go out for 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Let's see. Go out here for 5 blocks. Then we're gonna have 2 blocks here, and we're going to have 2 blocks here, and then these are going to get connected up with diagonal slabs like that, and that is 1/4 of this area that needs to be filled in with slabs. We're going to do this all the way around here. It's going to be completely filled in. Then there's an outer greater ring on the outside that needs to be filled in. But also one thing that I want to mention is right down, let's see, right here, this repeater, I originally had it set to 2 ticks, and it actually has to be set to 3 like it is now. It was originally set to, let's see, it was originally set to that. It has to be set to that in order for the farm to function properly. So just make sure that this one's 3 ticks, the rest of these are all 2 ticks. Anyways, go ahead and continue this ring around in like all the other directions, and then you're gonna fill it in, and then we'll do the final outer greater ring, and then we will be done with our farm. And apparently I'm invisible in F5 mode at a certain height. That's interesting. And now we have the final outer greater ring of this to do. We have the interior ring, but we need the outer one. So in the very middle here, we're going to go out for 10 blocks like this. That would be 10, and then you're going to go 9 in this direction. Let's see, that should be 9. So it's gonna come out 4 blocks like this, and then it's gonna go 2 blocks, and then we're gonna have 3 blocks, and then 2 blocks, and then 2 blocks again. Now we're gonna have 1 block, and then 2 blocks, then 1 block, and 1 block again. Now we're gonna go over to this side. In the very middle, we're gonna have 10 blocks that come out. Let's see, that was only 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're gonna go out 9 blocks. Let's see, 3, 6, 9, and then we're gonna have 4 blocks, 2 blocks, 3, and I think it was 2, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 1. And then we have 2 blocks coming out, and then 3 diagonal blocks, and then right here 2 blocks coming out. Good, that lines up. So you're going to repeat this on all the other sides until you have a giant ring. And once you have that ring, just fill it in with slabs, and then we will be done with the farm. Why do I keep disappearing? That's weird. Stuff gets weird past the world height. And with that, we have the outer greater circle here of slabs that goes around this entire thing. Now, this farm is officially completed. And now, just for a demonstration of this thing, obviously you'll be in survival mode. You will want to aggro some of the zombie pigmen. Make sure you don't shoot the ones that are back there that are just like the alarm ones, because that would be bad. You'd have to replace them. So we'll flick this lever here. That will start everything going, and all of the zombified piglins will start dying. And if we watch this, we can see this stuff is happening now. We've got experience coming in. I thought it was broken there for a second. It wasn't firing, but the signal just had not reached it yet. But now we've got ourselves a constant stream of experience, and if we sit here for a little while, we will see this lava will get dispensed pretty soon, and it will actually clear the excess XP, because we can't pick this all up. See, there it goes. Anyways, there's literally just should always be a constant flow of experience if it's working properly, and if it has like the best amount of spawns that it can have. There should just be what you see here, where it's just constant. Like, I'm at level 82 now. This is all obtained from probably like 10 minutes total of AFK time here, like throughout testing and everything. It doesn't take long to get a lot of experience from this thing. If you guys want to see more of this, there will be a world download in the description below, and there will also be a link to ilmango's original video if you want to go check that out as well. And also, if you found this useful or informative, then consider hitting that like button and subscribing with notifications on, so as not to miss out on future videos. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. I think we're on track for that, but I need your help, so that'd be very much appreciated. So that's going to be all for this tutorial, guys. Thanks for watching. I've been Speed, and I'll see you in the next video or live stream. Bye.